Hello, fellow and future weirdos of the flock. Welcome to my party pen. Come in, leave your shoes on, press the like button, stop here in the kitchen and get you some keep other people alive juice. Be careful with the coffee pot, it can fly us to the moon. And there are a lot of fucking buttons. So, I am Nikki K the Great. I am your super awesome ass fucking narrator. So, be prepared. We started a new book today. We're starting new book. Yes. We are starting on Exodus. And this is a wild ass fucking book. There are, there is so much stuff in this story. And part of it is kind of boring, and it'll be like, Nikki, don't read this. This is so much. And last time I read this book, I did not read any of that shit. But then there's things that happen later on in the story, and it's like, where did this stuff come from? So, we are actually going to read this shit, and we are going to figure out where the fuck horns on the altar came from, or worshiping new moons, because I was pretty sure the moon thing, that was a no bueno. But we're going to find out for sure. And apparently, I need to introduce my cat table because somebody was like, what's all the food on the table? It's for cats, you dumbass. And she might have been talking about the dishes in my sink. The teenagers came for the weekend. They're just so. You should see my living room. Well, Dustin's living room that way. That, and you should see their bedrooms. There is more dishes in their bedrooms. All of my cups. So, it's not that I'm a slob, you dumbass motherfucker. Teenagers and a cat table. So there's that. And also, a lot of my house is cluttered. And also, this is a storage room that I took over from my Bible videos. And I've said that before. So, you should watch my earlier videos when I actually was forced into this room. So, there's that. So, we are on Exodus. So, packed a bowl. The raccoon really did steal Larry the Lizard Guy. So there's a raccoon somewhere smoking a glow in the dark pipe. Or a crackhead stole it off my porch, but I'm pretty sure it was a raccoon. So there's a raccoon with a weed pipe running around somewhere. Oh, there's Pussifer. Let's see if she gets on her bed. She has been really weird about her bed lately. And usually she likes the stuffed animals and stuff on it, but it seems like maybe not. But I don't know what to do with the stuffed animals. I don't know what to do with any of these toys. I wanted to make a puppet show, but I guess a puppet show isn't happening. Oh. Anyway, anyway, we are going on to Exodus. So, do you have your shoes on? Do you have your coffee? Did we pack a bowl? All right, here we go. All right, Exodus. Ah, I thought the freaks were leaving right now, but they are not. The girl freak is running around somewhere. That's supersonic, by the way. Backwards. All right, here we go. All right, Exodus 1. Now, these are the names of the children of Israel. Okay, they are going to be called vampires from here on out because it's just easier. So, whenever it says children of Israel or sons of Israel or people of Israel, they're going to be referred to as vampires. Okay? All right. Now, these are the names of the vampires which came into Egypt. Every man and his house, uh, every man and his house who came with Jacob. They're using them interchangeably. Israel and Jacob, they're using them synonymously. Okay, so these are the people that came: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brothers, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which didn't know who the fuck Joe was. And he said unto his people, Behold, the vampires are more mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass, when there falleth, when there is a war, they join also our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom, Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the vampires. And the Egyptians made the vampires serve them with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, and mortar and brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve with vigor. And the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives. There was one called Shiphrah, and there was another named Puah. And he said, when you deliver a baby to Hebrew women, See them upon the stools. If it be a son, kill him. But if it's a daughter, let her live. But the midwives feared God and didn't do that shit. They was like, fuck no. And the king of Egypt was like, what the fuck, yo? And they was like, these women give birth so fast, we're not even there half the time, dude. These women are baby making machines. That shit don't even hurt. And they still kept making babies. And because the midwives feared God, he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged his people. He said, every son that is born, cast it into the river. And every daughter, you can keep her alive. Now, here we go. Here we go. Okay. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to a wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him, he was a goodly child, and she hid him 3 months. And when she could not longer hide him, she took she took for him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. And his sister stood afar off because she wanted to know what would happen. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, this is one of the Jews. Well, one of the vampires. And then she said to his sister, to Pharaoh's daughter, I shall go and call to thee a nurse. Then she said to his sister, Pharaoh's daughter, oh, okay. The baby sister said to the daughter, do you want me to go see if somebody can nurse him? And the Pharaoh's daughter was like, fuck yeah. So the maid went back to the baby's mom. Like, this the baby. And Pharaoh's daughter said, take this child away and nurse it, and I will give thee what all of the money. I'll give you whatever money you want. So the woman took the baby to his mom and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him to the Pharaoh, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of the water. It came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went to his brothers and looked at their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew one of his brothers. He's like, yeah, fuck this guy. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went the second day, two men of the Hebrews strode together, and he said to him, what is wrong? Why did you do that? And he said, who the fuck are you? Do you intend to kill me like you killed that guy? And this bad guy. Now, when Pharaoh heard this, he swore to slay Moses. But Moses was like, don't want this. So he went to Midian and he sat down by a well. Okay. So here we go. We are going to name the we are going to keep track of all the names of Moses' uh, father-in-law because there's many. It's like Moses' father-in-law. Moses' father-in-law was Secret Service or something. Okay. Now, the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs for their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flocks. And when they came to Reuel, their father, and said, how is it that how did you come back so soon? Listen, you were going to the well. I'm trying to do stuff. Why are you back so soon? And they was like, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds and drew enough water for us and the flock. And he said unto his daughters, why didn't you invite him in? What is wrong with you? There's 7 of you. I got to marry you to somebody. Why didn't you bring him back? And so bring him back. And Moses was content to dwell with the man. Reuel, by the way, I should have wrote that down. I'm fucking retarded. I had a pen, right? There was a pen. Now there's not a pen. I can't handle life. Nothing is going right today. Get yelled at for no reason, and now I can't find my pen. Oh, there it is. I'm retarded. Okay. So, what was his name? Reuel. Okay. So, Moses came to with them. He came to their house, and he was fine. And the man gave him Zipporah. And she bore him a son, and he called him Gershom. For he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in the process of time that the KOE died, and the vampire sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came to God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abe, Isaac, and Jake. And God looked upon the vampires, and God had respect unto them. Okay, so God wasn't paying attention because he thought they were fine. But when they finally got tired of it, they got his attention. So here's another time God wasn't paying attention. And I think it was purposely. God purposely doesn't pay attention, right? He's like a stay at home mom and her stories on the TV, right? Like, go play, I'm watching my stories. So it seems like God might be doing that kind of thing. And then finally they were crying and bleeding, and God's like, okay, I'm pressing pause. And then he goes and looks, and he's like, what the fuck happened? So he's like, okay, all right, I'm gonna do some shit. Don't worry. Don't worry. You endured. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. Sorry this happened. Let's put some stitches in it. Oh, how was that chapter? Oh, we're going on chapter 3. I can't believe. I just totally. I read chapter 2. I just didn't tell you it was chapter 2. So, okay. We'll do chapter 1 and 2. We'll do. Man, I listen. I want to do a night story because I I want to do a night video because if people want to fight, I'm going to give them a reason to fight, right? I am so tired of fighting, but if you want to fight, let's fucking fight. I'll give you a reason. Anyway, anyway, I love you, and I'm sorry it is so late. Man, I tell you to stay ready, and I wasn't even ready for this shit storm of an. I'm not gonna name call. I'm not gonna name call. But what I am gonna do is give people a reason to fucking fight me. That's what I'm gonna do. Like, if you want to fight, let me give you a reason. So, I don't know. That's what I'm gonna do. Wish me luck. Anyway, anyway, anyway. I love you and thank you for watching. Have the greatest day ever.